On this episode of Carnage, we're getting the Mazda ready for Summernats Slam. The tractor is here. So this weekend is Summernats Slam, and that is only a few days away. So we're trying to get the Mazda ready, just doing some final check over things. We're here at Max Performance on the dyno again. We've got a new wastegate spring in there. It had the 7-pound spring, which saw 17 pounds of boost. We've just put the 10-pound spring in there. We're hoping for what, 21 pounds of boost. That would be great. Last time we had on the dyno, it made 565 rear wheel horsepower. If we could see 600 rear wheel horsepower, I think that would be awesome. So it's got fresh E85 in the tank. We've got the Haltech dash in there now. So the computer and the dash all talk together, which is fantastic. Yeah, I'm hoping this thing is going to actually make some good numbers. And then this weekend, we get to race. At the end of the video though, we might even test the chute out on the street. Street chute pulls. But let's see if it survives the dyno first. So the good news is that Zane's had a bit of a look at the data and that sort of thing. With the cam barra unit, the bill's hooked in. It now reads the data, it logs the data, it does everything. The dash, the Haltech dash has enabled us to sort of work with the cam barra unit and the Barra computer. Everything works now, which is good. Now we can try and make some power. So happy days. Yeah, you can actually see the curve change slightly at that point too, you know, so
down, hopefully, the boots are coming up.
How aggressive it comes, like the ramp is and all that. Well, I'm happy to call it at that. If you're happy to call it at that.
Yeah.
Right. Well, Zane and I have come to an agreement. We're going to leave it at that. So, what, 580 rear wheel horsepower. That is a lot of horsepower in a little light car. It is a stock green top Barra. You got to remember, yes, it's got valve springs, pump gears, that sort of thing, but internally it's a stock green top. So yeah, on its first outing, we think that's probably a good figure to send it out there. It will run 9s with that. I mean, that's more power than the Volvo makes, and the car probably weighs 200 kilos lighter, and the Volvo is almost in the 9s already. So this thing's going 9s on the weekend with 580 rear wheel horsepower. Something else we're going to do, we're also going to turn the boost down, but with a boost T, just to give us an option for reasons. Let's just say for reasons. There are reasons for us to do this. We just want to have options to run a lower boost if we can. Obviously with a Barra computer, we can't just dial it down like we do with a Haltech, and Zane's not going to be at the track there to help us, so it's just us basically doing it by ourselves. So we're going to have a boost T option to drop the boost down just a little bit. You're going to go, why does the boost T drop down? That's because we're bypassing the Barra computer's, you know, boosting. So basically it'll be a line running straight from, you know, the manifold to the wastegate, and yeah, it'll probably run 12 pounds at that instead of 20. So at the moment, 20 pounds, it's making good power. We're going to take it to the track, run some good numbers, but with some options. So we'll explore those options now. All right. So we have bypassed our electronic solenoid here. We've put a boost T in the line, just a Turbo Smart boost T. We've screwed it all the way in and then gone a couple of clicks out. It should make a fairly minimum amount of boost, so probably 10, 11 pounds. I think it'll probably make a 320 horsepower at the wheels, something like that. That's my guess. Let's run it up and see. That's a little bit spicier than I thought. There you go. And that's on low boost. Cool. Spot on. So there we have it, a very successful day on the dyno here at Max Performance. Got a big shout out to Zane. He always delivers on the keyboard, man. Those magic fingers. And so we have two power figures, one at 11 PSI, which was what, 417 horsepower or something like that. And then we had 579, so let's say 580 horsepower up here at the 20 PSI. So 20 PSI, 11 PSI, two power figures to play with. For those that speak kilowatts, which I don't usually, it is 313 kilowatts at the tyres on 11 PSI, 432 kilowatts on 20 PSI, with 811 Newton meters or 1179 Newton meters of torque on 20 PSI. So yeah, for people that love the figures, you have them all. But anyway, we have options, we have power. We're going to go racing this weekend and it's going to be glorious. The Mazda's going 9s again. I love that it's pink, keeping in theme of the car. Sexy pink top. So we've never pulled the chute on this car ever, and I don't want to be the first time on the drag strip, so we're just going to take it out on the street and just drive it up the street a bit and pull the chute and just make sure it comes out. It's a little bit naughty, but hey, the street's pretty empty. Let's give it a try. So, what did we learn from that? Well, firstly, the chute works, which is great. And secondly, you need to be going a lot faster for it to deploy properly. But yeah, we're not going to be doing that in the street. But this thing should be doing, well, over 140 mile an hour in the quarter, so we definitely will need it. And we're going to show you how to pack your chute right now. So firstly, we have to deploy the chute. Pop! All right, so this part's called the drogue. So that's the part that actually pulls your chute out. So this catches the air and pops the rest of it out. So start by pulling the chute out straight and then walk back, get your lines. Now just make sure this protector, pull it back a bit so you can just see that nothing's twisted up in there, which it won't be. It's kind of, yeah, it's joined there. We've got 4 lines in this one, some of them have 8. Get your fingers in there and just separate them, make sure they're not twisted, and walk it back till you get back here. Separate your 2 halves. Make sure it's all sort of sitting straight, and go back and find the separation. So that's the middle of our 2 halves. So we'll work one side at a time. Grab that and fold that one up as well. Okay, there we go. All right, just grab them all with one hand, nice and firm, then grab the other end. Scoop that up together as well, and grab that sort of as a group, nice and firm, and then walk it all up to the car. All right, work it from that side. Now, you're working with a fairly small space. It's kind of the size of your hand. That's your chute plate. So you need to fold it all up into that space. So we'll start with there. Oh, actually I've got to fold it over this way first. So fold it in half, lengthways. See, it's kind of that width of my hand space. And then take a space, so you're folding from there over there. Hold it and fold. It's kind of bunched out a little bit, but try and keep it as tight as you can. All right, now find your first fold, peel it back while trying to maintain the tautness of it, and then just loop your lines around within that space. Right, and fold that back over. Try and maintain it all together. Helps to have 2 people, but unfortunately it's just me. So you got to try and fix that and feed that up into this little space. It is hard by yourself. Very easy. takes a bit of finessing. Getting it in there. That's what she said. We're getting there. Okay, got it kind of jammed in there. Now we get our drogue. Just loop it around your hand. Untwist it. All right. Put that in there. Get your drogue on there. Feed that in as well. Now comes the really fun part. So with your parachute, you get a little tie. So we'll feed that through the loop at the end of the drogue. Just kind of even it up. Feed it up through the top. Inside out. Oh. Trying to maintain the push on the drogue. Same again, inside out. All right. Once you get the first part done, you're pretty right. Then I like to go left to right. All right. So we've already fed the cable back through, pulled that in. Just poke our cable through there. There she is. Now when you pull your tie out, pull it in the direction of the cable. The cable's pointing that way, so pull it that way so you don't release your chute. You really don't want to do that because then you've got to do it all again. And if you've got a safety pin, whack it in there as well. But there we have it. Chute is packed and we are ready to race. So that brings us to the end of the episode, and what a corker it's been. So we've made more power than ever on the dyno. We've changed all the fluids, which you didn't see, tested the chute, showed you how to pack the chute. But the next time you see this, we will be at Heathcote Park Raceway, which has been freshly resurfaced. They have done an amazing amount of work out there. Lance and his team, in the last 4 weeks, have done so much work to the facility, you will not know the place when you see it. It looks amazing. But we're going to be out there with a little Mazda running with the big dogs. This is a top fuel meet. So the fastest cars in the world will be running down the track at Heathcote. We're going to be in amongst it running, well, nines, but nines for us is fast, and it's going to be a little bit scary. You know, this will be the quickest I've ever gone down the track, but it's going to be amazing. We're going to finally realize the Mazda's potential. Yeah, it's going to be fun. And you're going to see it all on a future episode of Carnage.